MyHeritage gives everyone the tools to become curious and to do the research and to find the stories. We empower people to do this journey of exploration and then to store the materials. Every story that is documented, every photo that is saved, every name is saved from oblivion. Luck comes to those who deserve it. And it turns out that a very reputable VC called Accel was visiting Israel.
אקסל זה הקרן שלמעשה שפייסבוק הנפיקו, אז הם החזיקו 10% בפייסבוק.
The partner was Simon Levine, a very, very tough guy. If you're a first-time entrepreneur, and he is a very sophisticated business person, not easy to deal with. And he liked the business. And I told him, Simon, there are horror stories about VCs, that you are slow, you have lawyers that create very poor terms and conditions, but I'm giving you an opportunity to set the record straight. We like you, and we're willing to give you the $500,000 in the round if you sign today. That's chutzpah.
אמר, מה? כאילו שאנחנו אקסל נשקיע $500,000? הם לא יודעים כאילו לעשות השקעה שיותר קטנה מ$5 מיליון.
The deal is ready for signing. Will you sign it? He said yes. He invests $500,000, and I go and I purchase Pearl Street Software and bring the smart matching technology. Acquisitions are a great way for MyHeritage to grow, whether it's by bringing in technology that we needed, or content, family trees, historical records, sometimes a talented team. We knew that we wanted to expand into historical records. A company called World Vital Records, and it was also called Family Link, was for sale. It had historical records, millions of them. But we had a serious problem. The CEO of Family Link, Paul Brookbank, he did not want to name an asking price. He thought that if I were willing to pay more and he would name a number that is lower, he would not maximize the deal. And I refused to speak out a number because if it was dramatically higher than what he would be willing, I would be overpaying. The negotiation was stuck. I thought about it and I invented a new business model to resolve the deadlock. Each of us will put in an envelope the number. I will put my maximum, you will put your minimum. We will send it to that trusted third party and we will have one go. And if my maximum is above your minimum, we will agree to go midway. It turns out that the difference between my maximum and his minimum was razor thin. We were thrilled that the negotiation was successful. We imported all the historical records into MyHeritage, and we wanted to launch a search engine.
When we did this purchase, it was in 2012. That was the year that the US would publish the 1940 census. So the US publishes censuses 72 years after they happened, and they become completely public. The way we digitized it is really into like mini families, where they were, who was alive then, who married whom, and so on. So that was that big step that we made, and another stream of revenue, of course, that we didn't have before.
We wanted to surprise everyone. When the 1940 census were to go live, we would have the census with a new search engine, and we would knock everybody off their feet. We knew in advance that the NARA, the National Archive in the US, will release the images of the 1940 census to all the parties on the same day. Ancestry, Family Search, MyHeritage, but we wanted to be the first to publish the images, and later to create an index and to publish the index. The problem was that it was a race against time. The meeting with NARA, Ancestry sent a private helicopter. NARA gave the disks with the data to all the parties. You had to pay some money, and Ancestry flew them in a private helicopter to get a head start of a few hours on everyone else. And we were there with a rental car, but we had Sagi Bashari, our genius CTO. Sagi studied in advance the type of disks that we were going to get from NARA. The data was encrypted and it was very slow to copy the data from the disks. Sagi figured out that if he will dismantle the disks and connect to them in parallel instead of serially, he can read the data much faster. So we were able to reverse engineer the disks, tear them apart, copy the data first, and we released the images of the census many days before Ancestry and everyone else. There used to be a blogger called Ancestry Insider, and he wrote, "I'm shocked by these guys at MyHeritage. The MyHeritage horse came out of nowhere and won the race." But our money was running out, and the funds that we had raised from Excel were drawing thin, and it was clear that we needed to raise more funding. The company that we connected with that seemed interested was Index, and we were supposed to have an important dinner with the entire Index team in Israel to impress them. I told Aviv Reis, "Aviv, it's your time to shine." Aviv is friends with all the chefs in Tel Aviv. It was the best dinner that all of us have had in our lives. It was such a success that it warmed up the atmosphere so much that it laid the ground to a successful negotiation and to close the round. The year was 2012. And we met Adam Fisher from Bessemer. Adam joined the board of directors, and he went into the driver's seat. The condition that Adam Fisher made from Bessemer is that he will not invest unless we acquire Genie.com. Genie shocked the world because their first round of financing was with a valuation of $100 million. So the guy who founded Genie was David Sachs. And David Sachs was a hotshot founder. He later was head of Yammer, which he sold for $1 billion to Microsoft.
והוא בא עם רעיון על הנייר, עוד היה לו כלום, שום דבר. אפילו לא היה לו את רמת התחביב שהיה לגלעד מכיתה ו' עד גיל 30 ומשהו שהכרתי אותו. פתאום אנחנו רואים שהוא גייס $10 מיליון לפי $100 מיליון. ואנחנו השתגענו.
They thought they would rule the world, take over MyHeritage and the other competition.
גלעד היה סופר מתוסכל מזה, ואמרתי לו, גלעד, תרגע, בוא, אנחנו רצי מרתון. תזכור מה אני אומר לך, אמרתי לו. יום יבוא, אנחנו נקנה את החברה הזאת.
They didn't execute so well. And in 2012, their owners wanted to sell them out. We managed to arrange a pretty good deal, and we acquired Genie. Each of us is like a time capsule that has encoded secrets of the identity of our ancestors. The answers are inside us. We needed to make a quantum leap in growth. And it was clear to me that this should come from DNA.
And it was a big operation because until then, everything that we did was really just computers and software. Suddenly it became logistics, sending kits and getting them back, and the mail and the packaging and all kinds of things that were a completely different level of business.
I needed to have a DNA database in order to have a high-quality DNA product. But I needed a high-quality DNA product to build the DNA database. The second problem was the database was empty. You would get no matches. So this is what I said. A lot of our users were tested on DNA at Ancestry or 23andMe or other companies before. We emailed them and we said, we are building a new DNA product. We are giving you the option to upload your DNA data to MyHeritage, and it will be free forever for you to get the results. If you don't do it now, it will not be free. Here I used to my advantage the fact that neither Ancestry or 23andMe wanted to support uploads. I had nothing. I was willing to support uploads. So we wrote on code to import DNA data from uploads that the competitors were not willing to have. But if you upload to MyHeritage, you are going to get matches that you don't have today. Now, all the users said, wow, MyHeritage has excellent matching technologies for records and trees. Where do I sign up? We managed to get hundreds of thousands of DNA uploads even before we had a product. Using that DNA data, we developed a product. And when we launched the DNA product in November, we had a big database of hundreds of thousands of users in the database to be matched against.
It really created opportunity for unique stories of people finding their lost brothers, etc., which are extremely excited, especially if you take this in context with the Holocaust, where families were separated forcefully, and MyHeritage managed to put them back together.
What are you doing here? Oh my God! Did you know about this? Oh my God!